Welcome to Well Traveled Life with Jonathan and Jennifer. We are in Napier, New Zealand. Napier is about halfway up the North Island of New Zealand. It lies on the east coast and derives a lot of its character from its position on Hawke's Bay. Napier is going to be a really different city than some of the ones we've shown you in New Zealand. In 1931, there was a Hawke's Bay earthquake that completely razed the entire city. And in rebuilding, they formed an entirely new identity for themselves, and they're now known as the Art Deco Capital of the world. You will see Art Deco architecture everywhere, and there is a whole culture that goes along with that. So you'll find us taking our tour today in a black London cab, true Art Deco style. Our driver today is Mark, and he has a London cab that he literally bought in London and had brought over to New Zealand. We toured around in it all day. You can catch a glimpse of us in the windows here, but you'll see that he took us on a tour throughout the best that Napier has to offer. If you are arriving in Napier by cruise, when you get off the ship, there will be a shuttle bus that will take you directly to the center of town, and there is a eyesight right there that it will drop you off at. You can book tours there, although if there's a cruise ship in town, lots of things are going to be really crowded and probably pretty busy. We had booked ahead with Deco City Black Cab Tours, and Mark is the owner and driver. He's a partner in that establishment, and that is his black cab that we were in, and we actually extended our tour. He got us out to wineries, and this is the Hawke's Bay wine region is world renowned, so this is a great place to go do wineries. He took us to neighborhoods so that we could really see what life was like in the neighborhoods around Napier. We also got a great downtown tour, and that's a really fun thing to do in a black cab, just because it's so Art Deco. It just matches the whole vibe of the place. And he got us to some of the historic Maori sites, and I think that's going to be one of the places we're most excited to show you. Hawke's Bay has a temperate climate and gets a lot of sunshine, making it just a really great region for fruit growing. You'll find that they are known for their red blends and their Chardonnay, but their aromatic whites are really good, and they've really become quite good at producing some impressive Syrahs. We started out at the old church, which is a wedding and function venue with these beautiful vineyards and what felt like we were hiding out in secret gardens. Our next stop was the Mission Estate Winery. This place was established in 1851 by French missionaries that came over, so it is the oldest winery and the birthplace of New Zealand wines. It is famous for the quality of its wine, for the beauty of its location, but also for an annual concert that it has every year. One of our favorite places at this winery was looking at all of the wine bottles signed by the visiting musician artists. You can be guaranteed this is one of those places we would like to go back to, and we'd like to be there for the concert too. Up into the hills. Down along the coastline. Out to the marina. And even drove past the Art Deco McDonald's. As the economic development in the Hawke's Bay region helped the area grow, it also was detrimental to the local wetland area. is a strip of coastline about 5 kilometers long that has been established as a reclamation area and made into a heritage park. It has become the Waitangi Regional Park, which is celebrating the navigational skills of the indigenous Maoris, as well as commemorating the arrival of the European settlers to this area. This reclaimed wetland area, most noted for the wildlife that has returned to the area, as well as the star compass, which has been created out of hand-hewn poles, or po, representing the points on the Atea Arengi star compass. This is clearly sacred ground, and it isn't just because of the environmental protections that have been put in place, although that certainly plays a part of it, but it's obvious that this was land that was revered and holds spiritual value to the people who originally lived here. We've talked about this Art Deco piece that so clearly defines Napier. Let's talk a little bit about what that architecture looks like, what it entails, and how that city has designed itself to really take advantage of a particular style and time in history. The term Art Deco itself is actually short for arts décoratifs, and it's characterized by these rich colors and this bold geometry and really decadent detail work. It was at the height of popularity in the 1920s, 1930s, and 40s in Europe. And the style still brings this glamour and luxury and order because it's all symmetrical designs with exuberant shapes. So it only makes sense that when Napier was demolished by that Hawke's Bay earthquake in 1931, they looked around the world and said, what's fashionable? What makes sense to rebuild? And Art Deco was the fashion of the time. And so they rebuilt their city with a very strong Art Deco style, and it has now become something that they maintain and continue. They have a celebration every year, and this really has become Napier's claim to fame.
A gentleman by Robert McGregor, it's probably 30 years ago, he just decided we could do something with it. He was a fan of the style, and then they started what they call the Art Deco Festival, which is a not too serious celebration of the 30s and Art Deco and the style of the 30s, the old cars and dressing up and all that sort of thing. And that's just kept going.
As you are moving around the city, there are some iconic Napier buildings, statues, and elements. So you will definitely want to make sure that you go see the old tobacco company building. That is one of the most ornate Art Deco buildings in the entire city. It's not on the main drag. You would need to probably take an Uber or a bus to get out there. Right in the CBD of Napier, you have the Esplanade, which is a beachside foreshore with huge Norfolk pines that line it. There's the Aquarium. There's a beautiful outdoor amphitheater area. The 5-foot-tall bronze Pania of the Reef statue refers to the Maori legend of the mermaid who was lured to the sea by the siren voices and ended up leaving her human lover and becoming a reef that now lies just outside the breakwater. It was commissioned and paid for by the 30,000 Club, a group of people who were trying to raise the population of Napier to 30,000 people. Smack dab in the middle of Emerson Street lies another statue duo that is just so Napier. It is a statue of Sheila Williams, who actually was the Carnival Queen of 1933. It was commissioned in 2009 and unveiled in 2010. It's modeled on Sheila Williams, the daughter of Ernest Williams, and he was one of the really big architects that was a part of that post-earthquake rebuild era. The statue features her with a greyhound. She didn't actually own dogs, she was a horsewoman, but exuberant women with elegant dogs as a common theme in that Deco period. And then there's a second piece that was commissioned and unveiled in 2014 of a young boy who has climbed up a veranda post and is waving at Sheila. Again, just this great public art in the middle of the street. We want to thank Mark for a great time in Napier, and we want to thank you for being here. We hope that if you haven't already, you'll take a minute and subscribe and hit the little bell so that you'll know when our next video comes out. Please join us in Auckland.